First, Facebook had games, now Netflix has games, then my texting app got games, and now even YouTube has games. We are days away from this fridge having games on it. Well, I've made a series out of playing games on services just like this, so why not? Let's rank every YouTube game. Oh, sorry, playable. These things are so bad they aren't even legally allowed to call them games. If you've never tried or heard of YouTube Playables, it's a somewhat new feature that lets you play various games in the YouTube app or browser. There are some straight up ports like the original Cut the Rope or Tomb in the Mask, but that's not really the point of this video. I'm not here to tell you what these classic games are like on YouTube. I'm here to play YouTube games, and what it even means to be called that. I am warning you now, this is the most brain dead list of games I've ever forced myself to sit through. If you've ever seen those crappy mobile game ads that look like they were made in an hour and will probably steal your personal data if you download them, yeah, that's like half of these. Anyways, our list for today includes Tall Man Run, Find the Alien, Merge Master, Block Drop, Retro Drift, Find Out, Knock 'em All, Collect 'em All, Slice It All, Cards of the Undead, Today's Hurdle, Turbo Stars, Emoji Puzzle, Angry Bird Showdown, Northern Heights, Mechangelion, Scooter Xtreme, Moving Co., Flow Legends, Draw Climber, and Magic Cat Academy. Without further ado, let's find out which of these YouTube games are actually playable, and which ones make me want to slam my brain through a table. I figured we'd start with the one I thought looked the absolute worst and work our way up. If you've ever wanted a game where you can make a skinny short ugly guy into a tall handsome man, then Tall Man Run is the game for you. This is clearly the ideal body type. Bigger number equals better person, and you want to be as tall and fat as you can possibly be. All these cheap mobile games are built the same way. 20-second levels with slightly different obstacles each time and really nothing more. It's not even hard, you can just stop running whenever you feel like it. If this is what YouTube is comfortable promoting on their platform, I don't have very high hopes for the rest of these games. Which means our tier list needs to be softened up a bit, and a horribly bland game like this that has a funny fat man gets to be in C because of it. Disgraceful. Find the Alien could not be a more descriptive name. You literally walk into a room, find the alien, and shoot them on sight. Or you can just try to get lucky and shoot randomly, giving you the game over screen, which is weirdly funny to me. This game freaking has it all. Evil aliens, innocent bystanders, crazy guns, epic boss fights, and a story. I played AAA games with less content than this. For a game called Shoot the Alien, I literally couldn't ask for more, but I definitely wouldn't say S. How about A tier? There were a handful of merge-based games, so I just picked the one with the dinosaurs on the cover to rank. Now let's just see what this game has to offer. I have never been more insulted in my entire life. I'm gonna be really honest with you guys, and I need you to not make fun of me, okay? I play Merge Mansion. Unironically. Before you think less of me, just admit you've never tried it before. It gives me dopamine rushes, alright? Give me a break. All this is to say, I know a good merge game when I see one, and this isn't it. You have no control over anything! This is just a button-clicking simulator with the bonus of combining items every once in a while. Just pathetic. D tier. I figured a Tetris knockoff would at least be fun because it's copying a good game, right? Right? Oh come on, I thought I was gonna get to play Tetris at least. This boring ass game is somehow one of the best games we've had so far. But they didn't give it any personality or any fun gimmicks, making it so bland I genuinely have nothing more that can even be said. B tier. Come on, a car game has gotta be good. You can't mess up a car game. And finally, YouTube has one on the board. An actually fun game to play, who would have thought? You tap to drift right and let go to drift left, and that's it. It's an endless game too, so you can shoot for new high scores. It clearly isn't a groundbreaking new game, it's just 100 times more fun than anything we've seen yet. Addicting yet simple gameplay, unlockable cars, therefore giving you a reason to actually want to play the game, and some pretty decent music to listen to as well. The other games haven't even had music, dude. On any mobile game tier list, this is a C tier at best. But for the first time, YouTube has offered me a playable, so I guess that means S tier. I figured a hidden object game would be tough to mess up as well, and I was right once again. Rather than simply looking for items, you have to interact with objects to create the ones you need. With unique scenarios like a prison break and a dead guy in my kitchen, I didn't mind this one either. I wouldn't say it's as fun as the drifting game, but hey, it's playable, and clearly that's all it takes to be a YouTube game. Before we go, I did want to mention this little museum part of the game you can place your favorite items on. What a great idea for a game like this. So yeah, not the most fun game, but a definite improvement. A tier. I found this weird little trilogy of similarly named games. Knock 'em all, collect 'em all, and slice it all. Let's find out which of these little bonus round of games is the best, shall we? Knock 'em all is up first, and as the title suggests, you gotta shoot all the enemies in the head to beat the level. The problem is that there's not really any threat here. You have infinite ammo and they're slower than my damn internet speed. I think giving you a set amount of ammo would really help make the game better. The movement is really weird too. It tries to simulate walking down stairs or wall jumping of all things, but it's just the camera moving back and forth all janky. The best part was definitely the boss fight just because it took more than one bullet to beat. Could be worse. B tier. Then in Collect 'em all we have circles on a screen. Man, graphics have really gotten good in 2024. Anyways, congrats on making the most lifeless game of all time here. It's one of those match 3 games where you connect as many of the same colored dots as you can. When you get a combo it says nice, and when you beat a player it shows their profile pic on screen. But I didn't know that yet, so when this random lady showed up on my screen and said perfect, I just got jump scared. It was really dumb and funny out of context. So far this is the first game to make me laugh, but that's only because the pictures they chose for these fake players are really funny to me. Anyways, obviously it's a D tier. Last chance for a mini trilogy here. Let's see if Slice It All can take the win. Well, if you ever wanted Flappy Bird but with a knife, your dreams have come true. It's another game that looks really crappy but ends up being a tiny bit fun. I'd be appalled to hear someone enjoys that Merge game we played, but I can totally understand someone liking this one. It can be super satisfying. Getting those long clean cuts is always a great feeling. There's also different knives you can buy, but there's only 3, so there's not really much a reason to play after that, I guess. I like seeing the new objects and obstacles though, and really didn't mind this one. Looks like Slice It All wins the category and gets a nice solid A tier as well. We gotta get a zombie game in here. It wasn't really what I was expecting from a card game, but it ended up being alright. It made me think a lot more than Flappy Knife, that's for freaking sure. There's a set of 9 cards, some that give health and armor, and some that deal damage. Your job is to make the right moves to survive and get rid of as many zombies as you can. I thought it'd be really easy, and it's not like difficult per se, but you will lose if you don't think about each move. It has a lot more personality than the rest of the games we played too, which is crazy that the card game has that kind of honor. It was fun for a while, but not really something I want to play more of, other than to unlock Beefy Brody and Hector from Breaking Bad, I guess.
Last chance to look at me, Hector.
B tier. Wow, could the name of this one be any more obvious what they're copying? I suppose it helps us understand what we're about to play. If you like Wordle, now you can play even more. Also, how the hell was I supposed to guess briny? This game is rigged! The cool thing about Hurdle is that there are 5 stages, and you get to keep going if you get the word right. I suck at Wordle, but thankfully it let me refresh the page to redo each step. The last one takes all the words you got and gives you 2 more guesses with those letters. It's like the final spin in Wheel of Fortune. Honestly, is it just me, or is this the superior version of Wordle? I can't believe it, but I think this game actually improved on the one it was copying. If YouTube Playables gets a better version of an old game, I feel like that's gotta be an S tier. Apparently Turbo Stars is the most popular game according to this list on the home screen, so we gotta see if it lives up to the hype. You get to be this tiny little skateboarder on these long tunnels trying to get the first place in each stage. You can do tricks on the half pipes like in Mario Kart Wii. You can do complete 360s in tubes, and when you bump into players, you literally pick them up and throw them. What a rush! I definitely see the appeal here, although I must say it is pretty barren at times. You can't die, you just get slowed down, but I do like the different levels and level themes each time. The computer players have these awesome vehicles that I'm really jealous of. All I have is this stupid skateboard. I honestly want to play until I get a unicycle. But I wouldn't say it's better than the drifting one. I really prefer that one in every way. Let's say A tier. Let's just say Emoji Puzzle wasn't exactly what I imagined it was going to be. Listen to the sound effects this game makes.
Woo! Woo! Wow. Oh.
The same 5 voice clips like that played in every single level, by the way. Your goal is to match the correct emojis together. Obviously, fish goes to dinosaur, and cat goes to molester moon, and meteor goes to fish. Like, of course, it's just common sense, really. It's a fine time waster, but it presents no challenge or interesting gimmick that would make me want to play it for more than 3 seconds. So C tier. I've seen plenty of people tell me there's a new Angry Birds game on YouTube, asking me to rank and review it. This thing does not need a solo video, so this was the perfect opportunity. But here's the thing, you've all been fooled! This is a 7-year-old game! You could have been on Facebook Messenger of all places and played this all the way back in 2017. This is not a new game, but I can definitely understand why you wouldn't have heard of it before. Anyways, this game is terrible. The idea is solid, a multiplayer game where your goal is to pop the correct colored pigs and keep the others alive as long as possible. Popping specific pigs and keeping others alive is a fun challenge I haven't seen in Angry Birds before, but that's the whole game. You can only play against a computer player, the physics don't work quite right, and it feels like a mode for Angry Birds 2 that never came to be. On Facebook Messenger you can challenge your friends, but here there's no option to do so. The game literally calls it quick play because there's meant to be more than one option on this barren menu screen. What a great idea, you play against a computer until you get bored of playing. It's not only an inferior Angry Birds game, but an inferior version of a game that already exists somewhere else. How pathetic. As an Angry Birds game, it's an F tier. But as a YouTube playable, it's honestly an A tier. Insane, I know. Northern Heights needs more than just a clever name to win me over. In the simplest terms, this is the 3D snowboarding version of Tiny Wings. If you've ever played Tiny Wings, the goal is to get height and speed by pulling off perfect jumps. It works best in 2D because it's very clear where to land, while in 3D sometimes it can look good and be thrown completely off by your depth perception. That being said, it still features the best part of Tiny Wings, pulling off cool tricks and fast speeds. You can upgrade your stats or buy cosmetics, and that's nice too. The main issue is that these rounds are really short. I barely get going and I'm already at the end. And the goal here is to get the biggest final jump as possible, but I hardly got a chance to even get some speed going. It's not bad and is a lot nicer than most of the games on here. I think I'll put it in B. Mechangelion started out so strong. The graphics weren't mind-blowing, but the character designs were pretty fun at the very least. You took turns attacking enemies and correctly timing your dodges, and I was curious to see how the difficulty could ramp up. And then, about 2 fights in, I unlocked this shield. Here's how a typical round goes once you figure out the shield. It is impenetrable, dude, making the game baby easy. Then I unlocked a rocket and realized I don't even need the shield. If I spam my rockets, the enemy doesn't even have time to fight back. I even figured out you could use a missile and punch, making rounds now look like this. And it never got harder. No one ever got the chance to attack me, and it only took me 2 battles to completely break the difficulty of this game. I even got excited to see a boss fight, but I should have known it would be exactly the same. And don't even try to pretend there's a PvP mode. I know I'm not fighting a real player right now. Because of the fun monsters, I'm saying C. Scooter Xtreme is nearly identical to Turbo Stars, except I'm on a scooter and the game is worse in every conceivable way. Can't believe they managed to make a worse version of their own game this time. That's a new freaking low. In Turbo Stars, you can flip as much as you want, but here you have to land them. I don't mind the bit of challenge, and it is fun to go flying when you fail, but there's only one button to drive and do flips, so you can't hold it down while you're landing. And there's these little baby ramps that don't even give you enough time to flip. It just ends up being more frustrating than anything. I guess it wasn't the worst of the worst, so I'll put it in C too. I had high hopes for Moving Co because the logo and UI were really nice. And then the game loaded. This is a game, people! Put 2 of the same object into a box until you're out of objects, in a massive blue void. And if you bump into anything, they all go flying, which I guess is the only real way they could have added some difficulty to this thing. Whoever they hired for the graphic design on this game, good job. You were the only person who put effort into the project. Sorry to say, it can't save you from a D tier. As a flow legend myself, I knew I had to check this one out. Okay, I know that wasn't the most appropriate joke, but am I allowed to show this? We're just creeping on some lady showering? Thankfully, there's goldfish to save too. As a joke, I gave this guy the poopy water, and it made me start over! I'd be pretty pissed if I didn't just unlock a Mario skin. Honestly, it's not the worst game, and the graphics are kinda endearing. It took the longest to load out of any game. There seems to be a lot of different graphics and concepts in here. A lot of ideas from Where's My Water are here, like these dirt digging sections. There's even a massive town to customize. For a YouTube playable, this honestly seems like one of the ones I'd be the most interested in continuing. I know it's straight up one of those crappy mobile game tropes made into a game, but I kinda like it, I can't lie. S tier. Last two games, guys. Let's see if they can get a few more winners in before the end. Draw Climber, show us what you got. Well, giving me the ability to draw whatever I want is a bad idea, but sure, let's try it. You get to draw your vehicle's legs and race head to head to see if yours is fast enough. With different obstacles each time, you have to learn and evolve your drawings to fit each scenario. It works surprisingly well, although the drawings never really look the same when they become 3D. And also, it's pretty tough to draw. I tried making Stinky Steve, but with one continuous line, I messed up too much and just scribbled them out. And it ended up being the fastest and greatest legs known to man! I made a portrait, I made a peepee, I made an actual leg, I made a smiley face, I wrote my name. It was really fun to just see what each one would do. The racing aspects seem a little unnecessary, but it did give me something to root against, so I think it's alright. I felt the most creative through this game, so I guess I'm giving it an S tier. Alright, I'll admit it. I watched Ludwig's video and I saw he put the Magic Cat game higher than anything else. You caught me! So I saved the best for last. Sue me! I knew most of these would be a flaming pile of stinkers and kinda hoped it could be our only S tier of the list, but I managed to even out the games a bit better than I thought I'd be able to. Can't believe we even got one of these in S. Now there's like 4. For this one, they're not even hiding the fact that this game was on Google Doodle first, but I can't be bothered when I have these adorable characters to look at. The gameplay too is super unique. Tracing the right shapes takes out the ghosts coming after you, and your goal is to survive all 5 levels and defeat the final boss. That's right, there's an end! Pretty much the only game here to feature one of those. I beat the whole thing in about 7 minutes and had a blast doing it. You feel really untouchable at first, but by the last few levels it really kicks up the challenge. You have to be aware of the oncoming enemies and take the fastest ones out before the others. Or you can work on multiple at a time if you plan things out right. I feel like a full-length RPG with this sort of gameplay would be so fun, either on mobile or PC. It's a blast, it's short, it's sweet, and it looks wonderful. Best game on the list. S tier. Even though there are S tiers on this list, keep in mind that this is a YouTube Playables tier list. Any mobile game from my classic mobile game series would be 10 tiers above any of this list. Let me remind you that this is how tier lists work. You can't have S tier on a list and not use it. That means you didn't do it right. Imagine this list is a smaller list inside of a D tier column. They're all terrible, but I've at least gotten the chance to show you which ones actually fit the name. YouTube Playables are nearly unplayable, dude. The games are so bad I question why this feature exists in the first place. If you have access to YouTube, then you must have access to the App Store or cool math games, or even the iMessage games in your freaking texting app, or YouTube videos of people playing good games. So why the freak would anyone ever play this garbage? I went in knowing these games were pretty bad, but I struggled to find any I could even recommend. At the very least, the games are free. There doesn't seem to be ads or in-app purchases, and they don't seem to be taking over the site anytime soon. Next time, we gotta rank good games, guys, which means never visiting YouTube Playables ever again. It is insanely difficult to make a video with only boring games entertaining, so I sincerely hope you enjoyed this video in some way. I really tried. Let me know which of these are your favorite and if I missed any good ones. What other ideas like Netflix games and YouTube games are left I could try? I kinda feel like I've exhausted this series, but let me know if there's another service out there. Maybe like iMessage games could be fun, we'll see. Since we're on YouTube, I want to give all my members a YouTube persona. Sorry if they're controversial or get cancelled in the future, I just thought it could be fun. If you want a YouTube persona, then please consider becoming a member of the channel today. Thank you Leland, Patrick Byerjean, Bright Streak, MD Switchy, Dolphinator H2O, Dojo Master, Labatane, Jasper TV, Keep, Omegon, Galguy, Jet the Legend, Cheaper Ying, Gotham, Marie, Callum Ford, Dawnstar Plays, Peacock, OK, Sorrow is Taken, Pika Girl for You, Rafael, Christoph Creations, Cameron, Eric GD, Perskule Benenner, Bo Vanderland, Mora Mora, Checky, and Eduardo Santiago is back. And what a great profile pic from Green Man, yeah! I still can't believe they're called Playables. It made writing jokes for them pretty easy. Especially since 99% of them were borderline unplayable. You walked right into that one, Susan! But for the first time, YouTube has offered me a playable character. Northern Heights needs more than just a clever name to win me over. Northern Heights needs